Well, joining me now is Dr. Moses Beckley of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, who talks more about how this has affected thousands of people so far. Mr. Moses Beckley, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's begin with the several flood alerts you have issued among certain states. Can you give us more information on what exactly you're trying to say?
It is the part of the mandate of the agency, Nigeria Hydrological Service Agency, to issue flood forecast to the nation, and which we did on the 24th of June this year, coming on the heels of the seasonal rainfall prediction issued by NIMET. And on that occasion, we told Nigerians that, yes, we'll be having about 27 states that will be affected by floods this year. And that, of course, was to just sensitize the nation and to get them prepared, not necessarily to scare them, but so that they can do the needful and, of course, avoiding doing what they shouldn't do. The north central of Nigeria, we have the highland, which has its peak at the plateau, Jos Plateau. And, of course, in the southwest area, we also have the southwestern highland, which, of course, influences the flow of water down the river channels. And on the other axis, the northwest, the south, and northeast, the southeast, we have the Cameroon highlands. All of these, help to send the water down through the river channels, the river tributaries, to the major channels, talking about the river Niger and the river Benue. And of course, up north towards the Maiduguri area, yes, we have the sedimentary areas, and all of these features, the basement, the sedimentary, the topography, the vegetation, and the amount of tributaries in terms of rivers influence how the rainwater, affect the earth and the people existing on it.
You see, for the states hugely affected right now, we have images of several people who've had to swim practically in the water, whose belongings have also been affected, and several other instances. And of course, these alerts don't come in now. We've always had alerts coming in, however late. But the thing is, how much concern do you have after issuing alerts, and then you still see this sort of magnitude of affected persons involved?
Straight away, let me tell you that it is quite unfortunate. We're all human beings. When we see people affected by these flood waters, to the extent that they are displaced and rendered homeless, it's touchy. It's really sad. But if you take pain to go around like we did, for example, when there was flooding in the Kaduna River just a few days ago, now we discovered that people were just erecting buildings in places where ordinarily should have been Fadama areas, right? And these areas were at the same level with the river, right? These areas ought to have been an extension of the river channels. And if they were tempted to erect structures on these areas, perhaps when there were less rain or during the dry season, thinking that, well, the rains will not come to the extent that the rivers will outstretch its bounds or banks, then that was just mere wishful thinking. Because normally, in an area, in a town, in a place, what informs what and where structures should be erected is the town planning, And if the town planning is not in place, or if the town planning law is so done and people do not adhere strictly to it, because in an area you're supposed to have the green area that should be preserved, then of course in an area you could have some water courses, rivers, which people should keep safe distances from, and then in some areas you could have a dam, for example. and realizing the fact that in times of high rainfall, when the dams would be exceeding its the threshold or the safe level, then they will have to release water. And for this reason, communities, people should not construct or build houses too close to where you have a dam structure.
It's heartbreaking to see how many people are affected at the end of the day. And I need to understand something. If you are as concerned as you say, you know there are rules and regulations. You know that people sell licenses to people unnecessarily, maybe to build houses on those flood-prone areas. You know the tricks and every other thing that comes with it in those areas that should not, we'd have no business having houses on them. Do you take extra steps to make sure this doesn't happen?
Our warnings and alerts are not just to the people, but also to authorities concerned. And it is expected that just as the people should take this alert seriously and do what is needful, it is also expected that the relevant authorities should take this forecast very seriously and ensure that the right things are done. Right? Ours is to sensitize the nation, and which we do before the rains, during the rains, and even after the rains. And permit me to tell you that after the annual flood outlook that we released on the 24th of June, we sent copies of this AFO to state governors. We sent it to the local government offices, and also to institutions, right? Just so that people will get hold of these and will continue to read, to be informed, to do the needful. And beyond that, every week we come out with our weekly forecast, which we send to all relevant authorities.
Every week?
Every week. To further tell the nation concerning the ways they should live with the waters, you know, especially when the rains come. And we expect that every facet of be it the local government, the state, even the federal, should do what they have to do. We all have responsibilities.
All right, just hold on with your thoughts. We're still with Mr. Moses Beckley, Director General of Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency. When we come back, we'll talk more about flood challenge across the country. Stay with us.
People must desist from building their houses in floodplain areas. Everybody knows all these places are floodplain areas. We all know that. These are green areas. These are floodplain areas. There is a natural waterways. If you build a house on a natural waterways, what you expect is flood. So we must first and foremost, abide by building regulations. There must be, efficient and functional urban planning in all our cities. We must open up drainages. We must, stop this habit of indiscriminate dumping of refuse, because water must find its way.